Hello, good morning. This video will focus on chair pose. So chair pose is your nemesis. For me, it was for a long time. I still find it a challenging pose. It's a very cardiovascular pose. Um, Join me for this. So we won't just be doing chair. It will be trying to pre-fatigue the quadriceps especially and the front line, and then engaging that, and then also lengthening it out afterward. So kind of like that glute focused practice I did the one day in preparation for a runner's lunge, similar kind of video. So we will start off on our backs just for a few grounding breaths. Even when we focus on asana, we want to incorporate other aspects of yoga. Otherwise, it's just asana. Bring yourself into your body, into your breath. Feel it energize you. One more inhale. And then exhale, bring your hands to heart center. And I greet you here and all living things. And namaste. Interlace those hands. Press the palms up to the sky. And then bring them overhead. Ooh, no room here. For a long body stretch. So lengthen the front line. Point the toes. And then flex them. And just point and flex a few times. Release the fingers, sweep the arms round, interlace in the opposite way, press palms to sky, and send them overhead. Another long body stretch. Maybe make some sound. And then circle those arms around, hug the knees in. Rock side to side. Then plant those feet. From here, we do still want to turn the back line on. Legs are very involved in chair pose. So here, peel the spine off the earth, roll up into a bridge, and roll right back down. I want the spine here as well. Perhaps arch a little bit at the bottom, and then pull that pubic bone toward you as you curl up. If you like this. Activate through the legs. 2 more. Last one, lift. This time lower the pelvis at a unit halfway and lift. Just 4 more. 2. 1 more. Lift, come onto the toes for a moment. Then roll onto the heels, flex, really lift those toes off the earth to engage through the shin. And let the feet come down, lower the hips, hug those knees in again. Nice, make little circles, the outside edges of the room. So knees come out and in. Reverse. I want to really warm through this area. And the hip flexors as well, because sometimes they can limit our chair pose, as well as flexibility in the calves and the Achilles, ankles. And lengthen those legs up to the sky, lengthen the arms from their sockets, and make some circles with the shins and the forearms. And reverse. And a little yoga temper tantrum here, just shake it out. Long, deep breathing here. Inhale. And exhale, pause, feel. And then plant those feet. Just windshield washer the legs side to side a few times. And roll to your favorite side. So we can find our way into tabletop. And from here, come down onto the belly. And find yourself in Sphinx. Maybe even if you're open enough, a low cobra, as you press the tops of the feet into the earth. And this will activate the quads as well as the whole of the leg. And lower down. Roll up, lift, perhaps back into that Sphinx, maybe into this low cobra, and come down. From here to lengthen out that front line. Let's come onto the tips of the fingers. So tent them here. And roll up through the spine. And come right back down. You like this? If you don't like this, you could do a little halfway lift with your arms in cactus. Like so, so 90 degrees and a little lift as you press the tops of the feet into the earth. Or these waves through the spine. Lengthen out the abs. One more lift. And lower all the way to the mat. And then slide those hands closer to the shoulders and press yourself up and back into a downward facing dog. You're someone who, like me most days, depends on the day, those heels don't necessarily come down. Really want to add some flexibility here. So just kind of walk your dog. You can bring some life into those ankles, calves. And let's press one sole of foot down, really come onto the other toes. More of a calf stretch here. And press through those hands. More inhale. And then exhale to switch. Pause for a few breaths here. I know for me, my calves do limit my chair and my squats. And then come on to both sets of toes. And bring the heels toward the earth. Doesn't mean they're going to get there. And then roll forward into plank. So here we want to really fire up the fronts of the legs so that we draw the kneecaps kind of up toward our center. As we press those heels away. And active through the hands, spine in alignment. And perhaps you can rock forward and back here. If you really focus on engagement, at least for me, I can really feel the quads. Whole front of the leg. Takes practice to do that. And perhaps you lower the knees and come into a high cobra. Lengthen everything out. And let's just lower, lower, lower. So we're going to pre-fatigue the core as well, which is very involved in chair. Come again onto those forearms. Can interlace those fingers. Inhale here, perhaps look up a little. And exhale to lift the belly off the earth. So you'll just be on the knees and the shins here and lower it back down. Engage and contract through the core. very strongly, and lower. You like this? Let's do two more. Or we're gonna be tired for our chairs in our car. Last one, curl. Lower the belly, perhaps come onto those hands again if it's available for you. Stick out the tongue and lower, lower, lower. Slide those hands in. This time, sit back almost into child's and weave the spine forward. It's one of my favorites. Just two more. And we're doing something for the quads. Last one, come back. Tuck those toes. Sit your bottom on your heels here. Roll the shoulders. Just want to open across the chest a bit here. Sometimes I can get a bit congested. So let's perhaps interlace the fingers or just send the hands behind the body. Open the heart. Okay. And then untuck those toes and come onto the shins. You need a little cushion under the knee. You could have a little blanket here. Those arms will extend directly from the shoulder, and keep the body as a unit as you lean back and then come forward. And you could press the hands to your sides, come forward, arms reach, and press yourself up. So you feel the quads turn on here. Just a few more. Two. Last one, lean back and come up. Let's sit forward with that right leg. I also want to open up this area here. So let's come into a low lunge just for a moment. And plant that left hand, a little rotation here because we might do a rotated chair. So rotate toward the right. And come back to center and lengthen that left leg out. Plant that foot once more, come into the low lunge. And then rotate again to the right. Lengthen that left leg. And bend it once more. Step forward. Hands to shins, halfway lift, inhale. Exhale to fold and step back with the right foot. That shin of that same leg comes down. Lift through the heart here. Breath or two. More inhale as you plant that right hand rather. And exhale to rotate to the left. Hand comes down, lengthen that left leg, flex the toes. And come forward once more. Rotate to the left. Hand comes down, lengthen that left leg one more time. And then come forward into the lunge and step forward. Hands to shins, halfway lift, inhale. Exhale to fold and sit your hips back to come into chair. Now in this variation, especially if your core is tired, perhaps you bring your hands to your thighs. So one variation. And just send those hips back in space. Some people will tell you to curl your tailbone or really stick it out. Instead, just engage the core and out and back with the hips. We're inhale. And then exhale to come to rise into Tadasana, where it can be very, very active if done properly through the quadriceps, where we press through those feet, engage the kneecaps as they lift up. Legs are turned on here. Let's bring our hands to heart center and sit into our chair again. So this is a little more challenging with the hands at heart. As the hands get higher and higher, we engage more through our core. And then come to stand. Perhaps bring those hands to the nape of the neck and peel them open, round across the heart, and then bend the knees and come down. Step back into a plank. Again, you might really stay lifted here. Engage through the front of the leg, the whole of the leg really, but front of the leg. Come forward slightly. Maybe you take a chaturanga. And come into your version of Sphinx Cobra upward facing dog. Again, that hug of the quadriceps. Your up dog. And then downward facing dog. Step to the front of your mat. And let's sink into chair again. Perhaps the arms come by the sides of the ears. This is more cardiovascular. And take a peek at the knees and see if they track with the second and third toe. Ribs are still pulled in slightly, and then press yourself up. Let's take a little warrior one, because that'll be great for the calves. So step back with that left foot first. And hands sweep up by the sides of the ears. So we can practice having those arms up, just like we do in chair. You can even tilt your head side to side and see if your arms, your upper arms, are in line with your ears. For some of us, this may not happen, but if it's possible, you can check it out. And from here, press into that back heel. Even weight through both feet, but we often forget to press, especially for someone who's tight in the calves. So this is just open up the calves a little bit too, find our strength. Or inhale. And then step forward and sit in chair. Forward fold. Step back into that plank. Come forward slightly with the body. Find your chaturanga. Your version of up dog. And your variation of downward facing dog. We press those heels toward the earth. And this time come forward with the left foot. Shorten your stance and find the warrior one on this side. And focus on the press of that back heel. And where are the arms at? Without flaring the ribs, as I almost just did there as I brought my arms even further back. My ribs wanted to flare. Pull them slightly toward the pubic bone. And we're inhale and exhale to step into chair. Sink the hips back. Neck in alignment with the spine. And fold. Last time here with a flow. Step back to plank. Forward slightly with the body. Find your version. Chaturanga. Up dog. And down dog. Step or hop to the front of your mat. Sink into chair. Perhaps with hands at heart center this time. As you rotate toward the right side, hook that left upper arm on the thigh. And slide that left foot back and come into a rotated runner's lunge. Open up the arms if you wish. And see if you can step forward again. Perhaps the hands need to come down, and that's okay. And sweep those arms up as the body comes back to center and stand. Other side, arm sweep. Hands at heart center as you sink into chair. Check out where the knees are. Make sure they're not caving in or too far out. Rotate toward the left-hand side. Hook that upper arm. Check out the knees, make sure they haven't moved. Sometimes one will come in front of the other. Make sure they're even. Look at the kneecaps there. And then come onto the toes of the right foot, slide that leg back. Here we are in our rotated runner's lunge. Prepare twist. And can you step forward once more? And then come back to center and lift up. Final time into chair. And a balance challenge as you come on to the toes, perhaps. You may find you sink a little lower. One more breath. And plant those feet and fold over the legs. Step back into plank, only to lower all the way to the earth. Lower, lower, lower. Perhaps you find that sphinx or that low cobra, legs as wide as you need them to make space for the lower back. Stick out the tongue and come all the way down. Prepare for half bow. That left hand can come to meet the forehead. Bend the right knee and flex the foot. Clasp same hand around the ankle and press the hand into the shin and shin into hand. Inhale here and exhale. Next time you inhale, perhaps you lift and lower. Lift and lower, or just stay in stillness. Whatever works for you. Lift and lower. Really press the pubic bone toward the earth now, or this quad stretch. Bow does that too, but that lift, I find it, you press that pubic bone and it just changes sensation. And then let that leg go. Let's try the other side. Clasp, same ankle. Inhale to lift a little. Exhale to lower. It's an option with your breath. Lift and lower. Last time, lift. Lower, press that pubic bone down a little more. Let that go and press yourself back just for a moment in child's. Deep knee hinge here. And roll up. Those hands can come behind the body as we come into hero. You could possibly widen the knees. I like to lift my hips up to make a little bit of room for my lower back here. And only go back as far as the knees don't lift, that there's no twisting in through the torso. Could have a bolster behind the body here. Some of us will come onto forearms. Some people will come all the way down. Make sure there's no twisting. It's not to be very low. The body could be completely upright because that might be enough of a knee bend. And if none of this serves you, you could stay on your belly in a sphinx to still get a stretch through the front line and not have any knee hinge at all. Arms could even be overhead or all the way down. Everyone's bones are different. Some people will never go down, and that's okay. Because someone's bendy or not doesn't mean they're not practicing yoga. You often think, oh, we have to look a certain way. No, it's what it feels like. For me, being down feels good. It might not for you. Enjoy your Sphinx or your variation of hero, whether it be upright or down. Sense that opening across the front line. One more inhale. Exhale. If you are down to any degree, let's say you're down all the way, clasp the shins, and without twisting, try to come up onto the forearms. Again, the chin can be slightly tucked here. You press the arms back a little bit, come onto one hand and then the other. And come into your lifted hero here, or seated posture. This isn't okay. You could sit cross-legged. And just take a few breaths. Perhaps you look at the center of your forehead. Your eyes turn upward. Pituitary gland. Perhaps the thumb and the index finger nails meet. And the other fingers extend. Hands on your thighs or knees. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be at peace. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. And may all beings be at peace. Perhaps your hands come to heart center. Maybe you say it along with me. Let it come from your heart space. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. And may all beings be at peace. One yum sound or yum from the heart space if you'd like to chant. Yum. Thank you for practicing with me today. Sat Nam. Truth is thy name. Truth is thy essence. May we see things truthfully when we leave our mats. Thank you for this practice today. Not too long after this video, a few days after you see this one pop up, I'll have one focus on the hamstrings or the back line again. So there's one that focuses on glutes within the library. This one's a little more on the quads, and then something that's more focused on strengthening and lengthening the hamstrings. Hope you enjoyed this, and we will see you again soon. Bye for now.